Hello friends, welcome to Devrat Knowledge Villa. You are watching our English video series of operating system and learning basics of OS. Today's our topic is multiprocessing operating system. So let's see the structure of multiprocessing. Before today we have discussed multitasking operating system. So guys, if you are still remain to watch that video of multitasking operating system, so you can click here on I button at top right corner and you can watch that video, so you will be better understand the multiprocessing operating system today. Now let's see about the difference between structure. So in terms of multitasking or multiprogramming, there is only single processor inside the computer system. But in terms of multiprocessing operating system, we are using more than one processor inside the computer system. That is the key difference in this operating system. If we will look about the properties of multiprocessing, so main property, that is we can execute multiple process at a same time in this operating system. Why? Because as we have discussed earlier, at a time processor can execute only one process. But if we will increase the strength of processor, for example here we are using two processor, so at a time we can execute two process at the same time. Suppose we are using four processor, so we can execute four processes at same time. Next, that is symmetric and asymmetric architecture. In case of multiprocessing, we are using these two type of architecture. First, we will discuss symmetric architecture. In symmetric architecture, whatever the number of processors are there, they are working with the same functionalities. It means role of all processors are remain same. There is no master or no slave. But if we will look about the master slave, it means that is asymmetric architecture. In that case, one processor is master processor and remaining processors are slave processor. So maybe in general terms we can say that it is a leading processor. It will decide the role and functionalities of other processors, what they have to do and what they don't have to do. It is called asymmetric architecture. So in market, generally asymmetric architecture is very famous because we can assign roles and responsibility as per the requirement, whereas in terms of symmetric architecture we have to assign same functionality to every processor. Maybe suppose for example we can place one processor for the input output devices only, so that processor will dealing with the IO devices for taking input and for producing the output. Remaining processor we can allot for the processing purpose only. So here we can increase the efficiency or throughput by allotting more number of processor for the processing purpose. Let's see next property, that is increased throughput and efficiency. As we have discussed, whenever we are using more than one processor for the processing purpose, so we are getting better throughput and better efficiency. In earlier cases, what's happened, suppose we are using single processor, so at a time we are able to run only single processor, but here we are able to run more than one process at a time, so definitely it will affect the throughput and efficiency. Next thing, that is reliability and graceful degradation. It means we can say that if suppose one processor is goes to shut down or one processor will fail, so remaining processor is working. Get it? So system is not going to be stopped. It means work never goes to stop. Suppose failure of one processor maybe degrade the performance, maybe it can lead the performance in downwards, but still that system is currently in working configuration. So this thing is known as a graceful degradation or higher reliability. Another thing, that is cost saving So in case of cost saving, we can say that actually whenever we are using two different computer system, in place of we can increase the strength of processor, we can add one processor as reducing the one more different system. Whenever we will go to purchase one more computer system, so it will add the cost of main memory, secondary memory, input output devices, and the cabinets, like another parts which are carrying the structure. So it will increase our cost. But if suppose we are adding one processor only, so no need to purchase new main memory or secondary memory for additional processor, no need to purchase additional input output devices. Just we are adding processor only inside our system. Remaining structure like memories, bus, IO devices, all are remain same. So only cost is for the new processor. Remaining cost we are going to reduce. That's why we can say that this multiprocessing system is cost saving operating system. Few limitations are also available here. Let's discuss. It will require large main memory. For example, suppose for the multitasking we are using 2 GB RAM. So in case of multi-programming we will use the 4 GB RAM. So there is need to increase the our RAM. Next thing, more complexity. Look like we have to design scheduling algorithm which will schedule the process and CPU. We have to decide the policies for different processor, which processor will work for the which function. Look like here we have discussed one processor is working for the IO devices, for the taking input and producing the output, whereas remaining are working for the processing. So there is need to design this type of functionality. So system will goes to the more complex. Next thing, that is overhead and coupling. Look like suppose we are not increasing the IO devices. Suppose one person want to take a printout. So it is not necessary multiple persons can print the any document at the same time. So suppose one person is currently printing from the printer, so remaining have to be wait into the queue. It is not necessary that if we are including 4 processor, so 4 person can parallelly print from the printer, because at a time one person can take a printout. So this thing is known as overhead and coupling. There are many devices. Just we are taking the example of printer. You can consider any type of input output devices. Same thing like the memory. We cannot allot the same memory with the different processor. We can allot the portion of memory to one respected process only. So this thing is common. Memory remains common for all the processors. System buses remain common for the all number of processor. So this thing is known as the overhead and coupling, and that is one limitation of multiprocessing system. But according to my view, this operating system is best as compared to previous one. Currently people are using the most common processors like i3, i5, i7 and so on. So if you want to go in detail, so you can go to the website of any reputed organization like Intel processor, and you can compare the multiple processor at there by selecting more than one processor. So you will be better understand the detail regarding to the concept of multiprocessing. But right now till you have to remain, suppose there is a 2 processor, so this thing is known as a dual core. Suppose there is a 4 processor, so this thing is known as a quad core. So multiple processors are going to be used here, and it is a most common operating system or most used operating system in current generation. So hope you are understanding very well multiprocessing system. Now we are going to compare multiprocessing system with the multitasking. So let's see what is the difference. So in that case we have used the round robin algorithm. So it is not possible to run more than one process at the same time, but here it is possible to run more than one process at a same time. Same thing there was a proper CPU utilization, but here we can again increase the performance and throughput of the system. Another thing here, there is a cost saving and reliability, that is the additional advantage. So more number of operating systems are there, look like distributed system, network operating system, real-time system. So if we will get more time in future, so we will also discuss this number of operating system. But till this moment, allow me for the next videos as compared to the our syllabus. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Devrat Knowledge Villa.